summer travel season gets closer, airfares could be climbing along with the planes themselves. The likely reasons why are our first topic today on CNN 10. I'm Carl Azus. Welcome to the show. The U.S. economy is strong. Unemployment is near a record low point, so more people will be looking to travel this summer. Jet fuel prices have increased and they're expected to get higher. That can limit the routes the airlines will want to take since some won't be as profitable, and that can increase ticket prices. And then there are issues with Boeing. One of the world's biggest airplane manufacturers has had its best-selling passenger jet grounded around the world. 371 planes, all of them in Boeing's 737 MAX series, were taken out of service last month. That happened after two catastrophic crashes, one near Indonesia in October and one in Ethiopia in March. Everyone aboard those flights was killed. Boeing's been working to improve the safety of its 737 MAX series planes. After they were grounded, the company had to temporarily stop delivering them to the airlines that ordered them. That hurt Boeing significantly because most of the money for a plane is paid when it's actually delivered. Those deliveries are expected to pick back up later this year when the 737 MAX aircraft are approved to fly again. The impact on Boeing's finances could become clearer on Wednesday when it releases its latest financial report. The impact on Boeing's reputation is harder to measure, and it's difficult to say when either of these challenges will be overcome.
Only weeks away from the start of the summer travel season, and there's no end in sight to Boeing's woes. The entire fleet of 737 jets still grounded. In the US, American Airlines and Southwest are cancelling hundreds of flights through August.
It's our responsibility to eliminate this risk. We own it, and we know how to do it.
Boeing said it would shrink monthly production of all 737s by 20% while it works to deliver a software fix for the MAX. Last week, the chief executive, Dennis Muilenburg, said that work was almost done.
I had the opportunity to participate in another demonstration flight and saw firsthand this software in its final form operating as designed across a range of flight conditions.
The pressure from investors is building upon Boeing. Shares are down nearly 15% since the start of March.
The company is going to be extremely keen to get the existing fleet airborne and to get deliveries of the MAX on the production line underway.
The software fix is just the start of the long road back for Boeing.
You're looking at imminent resolution the next couple weeks. What really matters, though, is getting all the regulatory bodies out there in the world comfortable with this fix and willing to implement it, and that could take several additional months.
Wall Street believes even when the 737 MAXs are back in the air, Boeing still has a host of problems. Bank of America downgraded the company, citing the cost of penalties owed to customers, a weaker negotiating position with airlines, and operational inefficiencies from the production disruption. Returning the fleet to service will be a hard sell for a public that's wary of Boeing's promises on safety.
I think there's going to be an emphasis on, hey, is there an across-the-board culture problem here?
This has been a crisis of confidence in Boeing's planes, and one that won't be solved either cheaply or easily.
10-second trivia. Name the longest reigning monarch in British history. Queen Elizabeth II, Queen Victoria, King George III, or King Henry VIII? Queen Elizabeth II, the nation's current monarch, has reigned more than 67 years, the longest reign in British history. The Queen is planning to host U.S. President Donald Trump for a state visit this spring. The United States and United Kingdom, two close allies, both made that announcement yesterday. The event is scheduled for June 3rd through 5th. The White House says it's an opportunity to reaffirm the steadfast relationship between the two countries. British Prime Minister Theresa May said it would also be a chance to strengthen their cooperation in trade, investment, security, and defense. A state visit is a very formal event. In Britain, it typically includes a horse parade and royal banquet. Only two other U.S. presidents have been invited to one since the Queen ascended to the throne in 1952. She first sent the American leader an invitation 2 years ago. The countries have been trying to work out the date since then. According to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, more than 50% of the garbage that Americans generate winds up in a landfill. The good news is, recycling and composting rates in America have increased dramatically since the 1980s. The EPA estimates that more than a third of the trash we produce gets recycled or composted. The bad news is, there's still a lot of recyclable material that's thrown away. And what might be the unexpected news is that we've got to pay closer attention to what goes where. A lot of garbage that looks recyclable actually isn't, and it can cause problems for the facilities that process it.
If you are thinking about putting that paper coffee cup into the recycling bin, you could be making the planet's waste problem even worse. Some items that might seem right for recycling actually aren't. It's called wish cycling, and it's a big problem for waste management companies. Why? Well, recycling centers collect and sort items, then bundle the matching materials into large bales to sell back to the companies that make new products out of those materials. If non-recyclable trash ends up in those bales, they are considered contaminated, and the entire bale is taken to the dump, wasting hundreds of pounds of quality material. Some common contaminants are coffee cups, plastic bags, greasy pizza boxes, non-recyclable plastics. Pizza boxes can only be recycled if they are not soiled by grease or food residue. Plastic bags are not accepted at curbside bins because they clog up the sorting machines. However, they can be returned to many grocery stores to be properly recycled. Remember to look for the recycling symbol on items and check your local guidelines online before trying to recycle something. This is important because items like glass bottles, styrofoam, and plastics grade 3 through 7 are not accepted at all recycling centers and could become contaminants. It's going to take us all a little bit of working together and making an earnest effort to help keep our planet healthy and beautiful.
Today's 10 out of 10 segment concerns the world's slowest mammal. How slow is it? Well, in an average day, it only moves about 120 feet total. It's asleep for most of the time, and it's hanging out all of the time, and since 1992, there's been a sanctuary in Costa Rica dedicated to rescuing and rehabilitating this slothful creature.
Spidey. Well, hello, my sweet baby. I'm Judy Avey Arroyo. I am the founder of the Sloth Sanctuary of Costa Rica. We rescue, rehabilitate, release, care for, research. We do everything sloth.
Miss Buttercup.
Our main goal, and this has always been our main goal, is for research. There's so much unknown about sloths. That's what I love about them, that everything that we're discovering is new stuff. The Sloth Sanctuary right now is caring for 214 sloths. We have reintroduced over the years 152. We have 16 babies in the NICU nursery. The rest are permanent residents. This is Stacy. Now, Stacy was brought by the firefighters. She had been burned by power lines, so she'll be a permanent resident. There are two completely different species of sloth. One is the bradipus. That is the three-fingered sloth, 3 fingers and 3 toes. The other species of sloth is the coloepus. He has 3 toes, 2 fingers. But prehistorically, they're not related. Sloths are energy efficient. Sloths are not lazy. Sloths have a very slow metabolism. What they're eating today could take up to 30 days to get through their system. This is Buttercup. We call her the founder sloth. She's the sloth that started all of this crazy adventure. I love sloths. My wish, my hope, my dream is to lift the sloths out of the darkness and let people know them and appreciate them and love them. And it's happening.
So are they slothful or just thoughtful? Maybe they're just philosophic. Slother them with questions, but you'll seldom see a sloth off topic. Hanging out or hanging in, they're not hung up when hanging round. Their caws or claws or escape claws is when they drop down to the ground. They're cut from different claws. The sloth, they sloth or sleep, then threaten you. 3 toes or 2, outsider in a zoo. Why would you eschew a baby sloth? Do. I'm Carl Zeus for CNN.